The Kayfabe Crunch keeps a buzz with thanks to Mandible Claw. Make your times hard with a refreshing can of Mandible Claw. Is seltzer refreshing? Scientists say no, but our marketing department says yes. Quench your boozy thirst and be the life of any digital gathering by bringing a case of Mandible Claw.
The Kayfabe Crunch. Join the news order.
Good news. This is your Kayfabe Crunch for Saturday, April 25th, 2020. I'm Cameron Crossroads. Coming up, we have all the latest from NXT, Dynamite and SmackDown. But first, on this day in grappling history, Jimmy Snuka murdered his opponent in stiff competition to become the first ever ECW champion. Of course, that's allegedly, as WWE doesn't officially recognize this reign. And in 1999, the final event under the In Your House banner took place. The name was changed when a group of fans sued WWF for events not actually taking place inside their homes. The trial involved Vince McMahon trying to explain the concept of pay-per-view for 7 long months. Here at the Kayfabe Crunch, we're happy to report our first quarter financial results are bigger and better than we had originally planned. So, hooray for us. In light of this news, we could rehire the journalists we let go during a global pandemic, or, at the very least, offer them an inflated severance package. But that would involve a lot of phone calls, and I've sort of got a lot on. So, and now let's get on with the amazing anniversary news. Top story. Wrap it up, Padre. Triple H closed SmackDown with a celebration of his 25-year WWE career. If his career were a living human, they would barely qualify for a rail card. That's old. Shawn Michaels kicked off the party by welcoming all the people who responded to the invites he'd sent out, which was none. Presumably they got lost in the mail, as invitations to mass gatherings aren't exactly essential right now. Unless it's an invitation to a mass gathering of very cute dogs, as they're all immune. And I think we can all agree thousands of dogs gathered together in a park is the sort of content we need at the moment. Michaels called Triple H out for not holding a 25th anniversary celebration for him. But in his best friend's defense, that would have been in 2012, and Hunter hadn't quite started his office job yet. Triple H then received a few phone calls live on air. One from Stephanie, one from Ric Flair, and another from an out-of-work mall Santa for some reason. Just to be clear, that's not out of work because of the quarantine, but because it's April. Finally, Vince McMahon came out to celebrate, making his first appearance on WWE TV in months. In what was one of the stranger moments in, well, months. He called out Triple H for being boring, and then went on a Grandpa Simpson-style disconnected rant about terrible moments from WWE history. Vince spoke about the snooze fests that were the Gobbledygooker, Katie Vick, and Bayley, This Is Your Life. Which, in all fairness, Vince admitted wasn't actually Bayley's fault. Although, Alexa Bliss was the other person involved, so burn on Alexa. Vince closed the show by telling Triple H he loves him. Aww. Before saying, "Good night, Padre. Wrap it up, Padre." That's definitely going to be the new Vince meme. I guarantee it already is. Even before this issue has gone out, I don't want to check. The lights then turned out in the Performance Center to send WWE into a much-needed hibernation. Until Raw, see you Monday. Now it's time for your fast count. The wrestlers live streaming their lives of news.
Dustin Rhodes puts his career on the line in a match against Kip Sabian on Dynamite, in a discount version of Flair vs. Michaels.
Drake Maverick loses his first tournament match, meaning he must win his next two or he'll be fired. With more real-life corporate consequences on the line in recent matches, we're receiving word that the loser of Bray Wyatt vs. Braun Strowman will forfeit their parking spot.
Dexter Lumis assists the Velveteen Dream in the main event of NXT. Sharing company with that creep isn't exactly a good look for Dexter Lumis right now.
Sheamus intimidates Michael Cole. Sources say this wouldn't have happened if he hadn't had to sell the coal mine in the last recession.
King Corbin qualifies for Money in the Bank and appears to have co-opted Nakamura and Cesaro from Sami Zayn. More on this, probably never.
The Dark Order gains another new member. All 8 billion inhabitants of this lonely planet are expected to be initiated into the pro wrestling cult by the end of July, experts say.
Giant 3D rendered Lacey Evans last seen over the skies of Georgia. If you are a resident of Atlanta, for safety reasons, please remain indoors.
Darby Allin and Sammy Guevara use a real ladder in their match on Dynamite, proving once and for all this sport is real, as it was the kind you'd find in Home Depot and not one of those fake bullshit Walmart ladders.
Big E gets sexually suggestive in regards to his tag team championship. Wait, this isn't news.
Forgotten Sons revealed their military background. In doing so, they're highlighting victims of the military-industrial complex and the way the government rejects veterans as soon as they've finished serving their country, while simultaneously not absolving their own, quite frankly, dickish behavior. And we're absolutely certain that nuance will carry on WWE television. And that's your fast count.
You've been counted out. They'll never find you in the gulag.
There's just time for a quick look at the headlines from around the wrestling world. I still get these newspapers delivered every morning. And I would like to thank traditional wrestling media for continuing to print during these trying times. Your hard work and diligent at-home journalism isn't going unnoticed by this reporter. Oh, and to the sickly-looking delivery boy who drops them on my doorstep every morning. Could you do it a little quieter, please? You're forever waking my beagle. Sect Addicts are leading with a feature ranking all of the Money in the Bank ladder matches, including the lost Money in the Bank ladder match from a live event in 1987. A match which featured 8 of the 80s most cooked-up stars climbing ladders, which lasted around 8 seconds, as the briefcase was filled with cocaine. The Grappling Ogler's front page looks at the TV ratings from the last month, charting how well the industry is doing during lockdown. Things seem to be fine, but things aren't looking so good for news outlets charting TV ratings as a measure of success in 2020, as you can see on this graph I'm holding up right now. The Grandstand's latest comments on Charlotte being used on the Money in the Bank pay-per-view promotion instead of Becky Lynch, and how Lynch wasn't featured on Raw this week for the first time in over 18 months. But honestly, this is hardly a story. Can we please go back to speculation on what the hell is going on with Roman Reigns? Messy paper. And finally, Ryan Duvet from Pro Wrestling Duvet has an extended piece on the heartlessness of the recent round of WWE releases. In this piece, he goes on to state they made the right decisions, as he personally still holds his job as an in-house WWE reporter for the WWE, while actual artists and athletes have lost their income. Sleep well, Ryan. Sleep well. Join us Tuesday when we'll bring you all the latest on Nia Jax throwing people around and hurting them. Newsflash, she's a wrestler, it's her job. And remember, you can go back and listen to old episodes of the Kayfabe Crunch for a quick recap of what the wrestling world looked like before the lockdown. We even make regular references to something called a crowd, but I can't quite remember what that is. So I guess listen and find out. This has been the Kayfabe Crunch, your not quite daily, not quite news, bump for the world of professional wrestling.
The Kayfabe Crunch keeps a buzz with thanks to Mandible Claw, now with 12% less lizard membrane. Enjoy Mandible Claw responsibly. It's fine to wrestle after drinking a can or 6, but just make sure you're being responsible while doing it. Mandible Claw, the favorite party drink of your favorite wrestler, whoever they are.
The Kayfabe Crunch.